How to make passive income at home daily. Get your Helium miner sooner. Hi, I'm Ricky Williams. In this video, I'm going to tell you how you can be sure that you will earn more with your Helium hotspot. It's all about your hotspot making the right friends. First, are you still waiting for your Helium miner to arrive? In a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how you can jump to the front of the delivery line. But first, let's look at how you can surround your hotspot with popular friends. The more your hotspot talks to other hotspots, the more money it will make you. But your hotspot is in a Goldilocks zone. Not enough hotspots around you means you can't make much money. In this example, Big Mahogany Gerbil is kind of by itself in Ketchum, Idaho here. It's not doing much communicating, and it's only made $10 in the last month. But if there are too many hotspots around you, Helium will make you share the rewards. For recumbent tweed turtle in San Francisco, there are just too many other hotspots around it. And as a result, it's only made $16 in the last 30 days, even though, it's talking to a lot of hotspots, but it's having to share those rewards. And here's a Goldilocks hotspot. The hotspot density here is good with clear lines of sight. Large linen seahorses in Clarksburg, Maryland. And you can see that it's talking to several hotspots, but it's not sharing with others. And so it's made in the last 30 days $677. So don't leave it to chance. It's time to stack your hotspot network in your favor. There's 5 steps. First, find your hotspot location. Set your 300-meter perimeter. You don't want any other hotspot being closer than 300 meters if you want to get maximum rewards. Third, locate other hotspots for yours to talk to. Fourth, calculate the antenna height you need. This is an important step because even though there are lots of hotspots around you, you may not be able to see them. And if you can't see them, you won't be able to talk to them. Fifth, contact homeowners or business owners in new hotspot locations that will help your network talk more and make more money. I'm going to reference several websites and tools in the next couple minutes. Don't worry about writing those down or remembering them. I'm going to put the links for those websites in the description for this video, so you can check that after you watch. The first step, if you want to put a hotspot in an area, you can preview other hotspots in that area in Helium Track or Helium Explorer to see if it looks like a good area. What if you want to put a hotspot in Chattanooga, Tennessee? You can see that there are several hotspots here, and there's kind of a blank area in the middle there. That might be a good spot to put a hotspot because you're not competing with anybody else right there, but you still have a view, potentially, of a lot of other hotspots around you. You can start out looking at Google Earth, and that'll give you an idea of changes in elevation or tall buildings, trees, etc. around your hotspot location. So this is a 2D view from above, and you can click, if you look in the lower right here, if you click on that 3D button, it'll show you a 3D image. And this will give you a better idea of elevation changes. And also, when you click on that 3D button, it's going to give you a revolving view. So you'll be able to look from your hotspot in all different directions and see what it looks like. You can find the latitude and longitude from the street address of your potential hotspot location in Google Maps. Or you can use a cell phone app, such as Google Maps, Your Compass, GPS and Maps. There's lots more. Just search your app store to find them. This is good if you can stand in the location where you want your hotspot to be. But if you're doing research for a remote location, then you won't be able to use this. Second step, enter the latitude and longitude data in circleplot. The URL link for this is in the description. And this generates a file that'll help you put a radius in your Google Maps view. So you enter latitude and longitude from the previous step, where it's showing with the arrows there. Then you specify a 300-meter radius. So you select kilometers as opposed to miles, and then you put in 0.3, so that would be 300 meters. You create the KML file. You can name this point name if you like. Just put in the address that you're looking at. You click the button there to create the KML file, and it'll show you a file, and you can save that to your computer. Just put it in a place where you can find it, because you're going to need it for the next step. Now create a map in google.com/mymaps. Name your map. In this case, I'm putting in the address of the hotspot I want to check, and I save it. And then you're going to add a layer to your map. You're going to click Import, and when you click Import, you're going to find that KML file that you created in the last step. So you upload the circleplot KML file. Here's what Google Maps looks like without a radius. And unfortunately, you can't create a radius in Google Maps. So you have to go through this extra step that I'm describing for you. But I've got an arrow here showing the address that I want to put a hotspot in. But where's the 300-meter radius? You could eyeball it and estimate it, or you could go through the steps of using the circle plot. Add that layer to your Google My Maps. This is what you'll see. You'll see a 300-meter radius around your hotspot. Now it gives you a chance you can look outside that radius for other potential hotspots. For each potential hotspot that you find outside that 300-meter radius, you're going to want to get the latitude and longitude. So in this case, this example, I'm choosing businesses, but it can be homes as well. And what you want to do is you're going to go in here and you're going to click on one of these buildings. And you need to be at resolution 500 meters or farther away. So it could be 500 meters or 1,000 meters. Otherwise, the latitude and longitude are not going to pop up. So if you look in the lower right corner of this view, you can see a 500-foot scale. And then at the bottom here, you see the address of the building that I clicked on. If you look beneath the address, it'll give you the latitude and the longitude. So you write them down because you're going to put them back in that circle point tool. Enter the latitude and longitude. Specify the 0.3 kilometer radius or 300 meters. And you create a new KML file and you save it to your computer. Then you go back to the Google My Maps and you add a layer. And the new layer is going to be a new radius. And you import that KML file for the new hotspot location. And then you go back to My Maps, and it shows the new 300-meter perimeter. And it's okay if they overlap. You just don't want two hotspots to be within the same circle. And you keep doing that. You keep adding potential new hotspots. You're not sure that you're going to be able to use all these hotspots, but you want to be able to check them all out. You can add 4, 5, 6. You can add a lot more if you want to. It just takes a little bit of time. But in the end, it'll pay off because you're going to find more hotspots or be able to get people to add hotspots to their business or their homes that your hotspot's going to be able to talk to. And you're going to make more money, and they're going to make more money. Then you want to calculate the antenna height of your hotspot to find out what it needs to talk to the 3 new hotspot locations or however many you come up with. So this is the line of sight tool, and again, you can find this in the description. You enter the latitude and longitude for your hotspot device, and then you click that plot GPS button there. And then for the next hotspot device, you enter it in radio 2 for the green marker there. You enter the latitude and longitude, and then click plot GPS. In a few seconds, the radio path study chart here will pop up. And in this case, you can see the line of sight between the two hotspots is red, which means there's an obstruction. And you're not going to be able to see that hotspot, the green hotspot, from your spot. So what you want to do is, in the lower left there, is you want to keep bumping up the height of your antenna until you have a clear line of sight. So in this case, I bumped it up until I had 15 meters. So if my antenna is at 15 meters, I'm going to be able to see that other hotspot. Then you go to the next hotspot for however many hotspots you've selected. And for this case, there's a hotspot at Insane Paintball Airsoft, another business. And for me to see that location, I need a 9-meter antenna. And the next one is at Hamilton Plastics. I need an 11-meter antenna to be able to see that business location. Maybe a 15-meter antenna is too high. It's not practical for you to put at your location. This is assuming that all of your target hotspots have a 1-meter antenna. And maybe it makes sense to add a 3-meter or 5-meter or some kind of a higher antenna at those locations. It just takes a little bit more work, but that could be an answer. Or you could find new target hotspots where you didn't need an 11-meter antenna. Maybe 5 meters is all you need. And so those would be the hotspots you'd want to go with, because you don't want to put up an 11-meter antenna. So it depends on your capabilities and what the requirements are. You could also try putting more hotspots in different locations and distances. Keep adding more target hotspots to improve your rewards. The fifth step is to invite the owners of your best target hotspot locations to get their own hotspot, unless there's one there already. But if people don't know you, they may not be open to your offer to put a hotspot in their home or their business. Their filters are going to be up, and they won't be able to hear or believe your offer, even though it could make them easy money. But there are ways to get people to listen to your offer. This is not a comprehensive list, but make it personal if you can. Look up the names of the residents of your target hotspots, and there are tools to do this. Just look online. Whitepages.com is one, and it's free, and you can enter in an address here. So in this case, I put in 1200 Wisdom Street, and it will look for the owners. And in this case, the owner is Insane Paintball, and really I would prefer to have the name of the owner, not the name of the business. So I might have to do a little bit more research here. But if this is in a residential area, there's going to be a name that pops up, and it'll be the name of the owner. And that's who you want to contact if possible. You don't want to just send a letter or other message to an address. You want to send it to a person at an address. Everybody gets a lot of junk mail, but if you see a handwritten letter, you're more likely to open that. So that's the first step, is to get them to open it. And I've provided a link to a sample letter in the description, so you can check that out. It gives you some ideas of what you might say in your letter. You don't want to be too salesy. You don't want it to be too long. You could also include a URL address to a personal video that you record on YouTube, introducing yourself and describing the offer in more detail. And if people are at all interested or curious about your offer in the letter that you send them, they see this link, they think, well, maybe I'll check it out further. And that way it gives you a chance to really introduce who you are, and people will feel more comfortable about accepting an offer from you. If your target hotspot is in a business location, there are other ways to find the owner's name. You can just call the business and ask. That may or may not work. You could try the company's website. If they have an About Us page, you could check that out. You might find the information about the owner in there. Or you could search online at whois.domaintools.com, or there's other sites you can check. And in many cases, it'll tell you who the owner of the website is. You can also look for a company page on Facebook or a LinkedIn company page. Okay, how to jump to the front of the hotspot delivery line. Basically, it comes down to convincing iHub Global that your hotspots are going to be successful. And there are a number of ways you can do that. If you plan a cluster of 6 hotspots in the Helium Track tool and send out mining assessments to the hotspot hosts in your planned cluster, giving them an estimate of how much they might make with a hotspot at their address, and then convince your invited hotspot hosts to reserve their hotspot locations, which they can do on that website, then iHubGlobal.com will see that you've done your homework and that your hotspots have a greater chance of success, and so they will bump you up in the delivery line and you'll get your hotspots sooner. If you're interested in getting your own hotspot miner, then keep watching my videos to help you understand the risks and rewards. If you can't wait, you can get started right away by clicking the first link in the comments below. Click the nationalconsumeradvocate.com/helium-miner link in the first comment below this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel to get the latest info about making money with your hotspot.